Hello, friends. We had some questions from people about the chain of the samurai or the ninja, and these are called Kusari Fundo, is what we call them. Some schools call them Man Riki Gusari, which means 10,000 power chain, but Kusari or Gusari's chain, Fundo just means weight. So that's what we call them now, but it depends on what style you study. If you study the Masaki Ryu, they might call it something different. I just call these Kusari Fundo or Man Riki Gusari, okay? The older styles of these would have been called konpi. Konpi were very old, and konpi means like flying iron. That would have been before 1392. The Nanbokucho period, they would have used these to restrain opponents, and they probably would not have looked like this. They might have had a weight on one side and chain on the other, and they would use these to ensnare opponents, and then they would hit them with the iron here. After that, a lot of people called them Man Riki Gusari or Kusari Fundo, and here are several different styles here, which is really cool. One of the main schools that teach these is called the Masaki Ryu, which I have learned a bit about. I'm certainly not an expert at these. Masaki Toshiyoshi, I think he lived 1689 to 1776, and he formed the Masaki Ryu. He served Lord Toda, and they would have defended the grounds of the Edo castle with these, because if you had swords back then, of course, the samurai katana, which is a fantastically awesome weapon, but a lot of these weren't allowed in castles. And to spill blood on castle grounds was considered sacrilege because they were holy places. So if someone brought a sword or snuck a sword in, the samurai guards of the Edo period might have had Kusari Fundo here to protect themselves. And they would hide these in their kimono, in the sleeves, perhaps around their neck, around their obi belts. Many ways to conceal these, and that's one of the beauty of these weapons, is they're easily concealed so that you can't see them. And then you can dispatch them very quickly and use them. So if someone brought a sword on the grounds, Masaki Toshiyoshi developed this or used this weapon so that they could not spill blood on holy grounds, and the bodyguards would have these, which is pretty cool, so that, say, the daimyo was in the next room, you could restrain someone, an evildoer, without spilling blood and without making a lot of noise. You would just pull out your fundo chain, quickly wrap them up, take them away, and dispatch them at your need. But these are pretty cool weapons here. These are illegal in Ireland, and where I'm from, I was born and raised in Massachusetts. If you get caught with one of these by the police, it's considered a felony. So some states these are illegal. You do not want to carry these around. Now what we use, I don't have one right here, but I'll show you one in a moment, is rope fundo. The rope is a very safe way to train with. You don't want to train with these with other people unless you're quite high level and you've had a lot of experience, because if you get hit with this iron, it's very unforgiving. It's like a snake with two heads, and if you swing these around and you get hit by one of those, that will wreck your day and put you in the hospital. But these are really, really cool weapons, and we have several kamae with these. As you can see, I have several styles here. This probably would be very accurate as far as length, although I think that these fundo weights are quite small. So you can see how small this one is, but easily concealed. These little weights here. Here's one that could be more of a good size, especially for someone my size with my hands here, so you could hold the weights here. You would want, hopefully, the weights to be tapered here. If they're straight, which these are straight, that's not bad, but if you were trying to block a sword coming in and your hand was here and the sword hit your chain, it would pull that right out of your hand. So if you could have these tapered, these are slightly tapered here. This is thicker than this end, so that therefore when the chain is taut, it won't slide out as easily of your hand because it gets caught. So you would want that wider down here so it doesn't slip out very easily. Minor detail. And then here are some modern ones. Here's one made of pig iron. Look at the size of these weights. You can just imagine getting hit. We'll put in a little bit of footage later of hitting people with the ends of these. So these are like here, you can use these like a boshiken here, or can you imagine getting hit and punched with that in the eye or something like that? Or, you know, this would be like a boshi or a nakadaka ken, middle knuckle strike. So you could hit this way or that way and then quickly throw the chain out wherever you needed it. So that's a cool version here. These are modern ones, so you Harley guys out there might like these as bikers and stuff. These are pretty cool. This does have a knob at the end of it so that your hand is not going to come off. So that's a really good little invention right there, whoever made that. And this one here, the chain twists. Can you see that? That's pretty cool. So this is a black one that's about 3 feet long. Here's a silver one, which is kind of cool if you like more sparkly type stuff. And there's that knob at the end that you could really hit someone with. You could punch with it, and of course you could ensnare people as well. There are many kamae with these, many stances. So you could hide these chains here. You could have it in goho no kamae here, which is when you hide it. So the chain is held normally with your pinky and sometimes 2, sometimes even 3 fingers. And then these are left open to punch, scratch, dig what you needed to. But you would take the chain and put it in your hands equally here in what we call goho no kamae. So if you do this, hide it, very easily concealed, held at your belt. And then if you needed it, you could easily pull it out and use it. Whether you go into goho or tenshi no kamae, issei no kamae, shuboko no kamae, ippu no kamae, there's a whole bunch of stances that we teach. But you start here in goho or here. So we'll put up a little bit of footage of us using this in class, which is kind of nice. Now the Osami no kata is when you have the chain tight, it's concealed, and then you pull it out here. You want your thumb inside the link here that causes tautness and tension on the chain. Rather than having it here, put your thumb through the link. So you want the links to be bigger than your thumb so that this is tight, and then you can quickly retract it. This is Osami no kata. It's a practice that we do to quickly pull the chain out and pull it back and hide it in your back hand, conceal it. So you could do your damage, pull back and hide it. You don't want the chain to be hanging down. That's no good. You want this to be tight, pull, and of course you can also push forward and catch that way too. Many ways of doing Osami no kata, but that's something you can practice at home. Just how do I get it from my hand very quickly, retract it. That's Osami no kata, and then you can go into your kamae. Okay, so this is a really quick version. Really good to deal with people, wrap them up. However, obviously if you have weights like this, you don't want to grapple. You want to swing this around like a whip and hit someone once and knock them out. In my opinion, you always want to hit first, grapple later. Why would I want to get close to a bad guy when I could whip this around and hit him? You had things like the Kyoketsu Shoge, which was more of an exotic weapon here, which has a ring at the end of it, as you can see. And you have this kind of sickle here. So this shoge here could wrap people up, and then you could hook them and catch them and stab them. Pretty exotic, kind of a ninja weapon. And you have like there's a kama here. Inside there's a hidden chain, bakuhatsugama. So isn't that pretty cool? Inside the handle is this hidden chain with a weight at the end. Of course you would swing this around and then this end would dispatch the opponent. Kind of a modern invention, pretty cool. Bakuhatsugama. Okay? So these weapons, eventually we'll do a video on all the different ninja and samurai weapons, but I just wanted to give you a sneak peek for those who have asked. These you can find online. If you type in under Google, perhaps, handmade Kusari Fundo, you can find these anywhere from $50 to a couple $100. You can buy these on eBay as well from Japan. I've seen many versions for several hundred that are from the Edo period. These here you can find as well. These modern ones you can find in kind of the junk martial arts stores for $20 to $30. But again, be careful if you keep these in your car. If you get caught with them, you could be arrested. So understand that they have a purpose, okay? I'm not going to go over much detail today on how to use these because you have to be in the dojo to learn. It's not something you can see on video. But we'll put in a little footage from last night where we used the rope fundo for safety and how you might use these against a boxer or a modern attacker. Alright guys, so that's good for today. So for now, enjoy your Kusari Fundo and please be safe in your training. We'll see you soon.
He's a fighter. He's punched me. He's gotten hurt, and then BAM! Now look. Ugh, he's gonna get me away from him. Or he punches. We hit. We go BOW! And then he comes all the way around like we would for a lateral shin kick. It really depends on him. Depends on how hard I hit him. Boom! Maybe I don't hit him real hard, or it depends on how he's trained. Most of us are trained, we're going to go back here, we're going to fire in. Jorge's not trained that way. He's trained, he's on his back leg, and look, this leg's light, so he's just going to throw it up and kick us. Step in, uncork, whack! He went that way, I'll go that way. You unhinge, here comes the light, whoa! And then, Jorge, I'll tell you, I'm actually kind of getting him with my arm, and then hitting him on the way out. It's like a scoop. Okay?
This is not a technique. We're showing you, think of these as pieces of a puzzle. Pieces of a puzzle. If I had a Kusari Fundo, I would not be grappling. I would be hitting him with my chain from afar. There's no way I'm going to grapple if I have one of these. I'm going to swing it. We are showing you these pieces so that later on you can puzzle them together how you want. It's not a technique, it's just parts, okay? First part is you have to imagine when he jabs from here that I break that bone with the edge of the iron here. That will shatter his knuckle, make it bleed. But he's a good fighter. He's boxed for years. So as I break and he comes in, I break his bicep here. Just imagine the pain of this here. I turn and cross with the left, but this in my hand makes your fist even stronger when you have a bar of iron in it, right? The idea of going break, break, break. I don't think they're going to continue after that, but they might. So we do all pieces here. I damage, I move in and I hit. That kick is right there. I'm going to damage his shin bone as he kicks from here. I damage that bone here from underneath, from coming under. Slow with the kick, because this is iron. I just knocked him away. 1, 2, 3. He kicks, hitting here. Look at that, very painful. All his weight fell on that leg when I damaged it, but this is free and open for attack. Ichi, ni, san, shi. As he hits from here, I catch it here. Pull him to the ground, and then the chain comes to life to break him. Jab, damage, cross, damage, punch, damage, hook this here and catch from over the top, ensnare him, do the punch again. I just let him punch in the hole. Then you cross these over quickly to ensnare him. Give me the punch faster. One, very quick. You can also catch from underneath here. That works too. Inside works here. See how painful that is with the chain, and then whack. Catch. Taijutsu. Go. Catch him here. Putting him in the position. Try that out. Don't be here and try to do this. See that in movies all the time. You better have a heck of a strong chain and blacksmith to be able to do this. Yeah! Because if that chain ain't no good,
So I go to the side. That's the most important part right here to the side. The chain now comes to life to deflect that away. I'm hitting it and making it taut like a hanbo. Soft becomes hard here. Out. Here. I'm deflecting his sword from the side. Here. Away. All it does is clear the tip so that I can move in and hit him with the irons. All I do inside I can go as well. Here, this way, and hit. Control him where I need to. Pop! And move in to catch him, whatever you need to do. Again, it's not this. Please watch how this hits the blade. I'm out of the way, my head, but is my right arm? No, he pushes down, I'm gone. Everything is offline and it hits from this angle. Go! This way. It's a really powerful movement, but if you don't have good timing, you're dead. Hitting here and moving in. Taking control. If you want to go inside, you can, but it's wood, so be careful. This way works too. Catching from here and hitting. Okay, try that out.
That's a 3-foot razor blade. I don't care what else you do, boom, you can let go of that and grab this thing. But you never, ever, once you get engaged, forget about this. Ever, ever. You guys were doing some really neat stuff, and then you got all the way in here and you went, oh man. What's happening with the sword right now? He's cutting out my kidney and selling it on eBay. Right? So make sure that we don't forget the fundamental. This is all fun and dandy. Throw it away. I don't care. Right? Hold that. And then we have the sword. Give him the chain. It's okay. Do me a favor. Put the swords away. Put the kusari in the corner. And then go back and do the technique that we started with completely unarmed.